Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another Christmassy themed video and this month's movie moment. So for the month of December, December means Christmas specials. I love Christmas specials. I love Christmas movies. I'm that kind of person who will sit there and cry through a good Christmas special. Those movies just give me a warm, fuzzy feeling, and I absolutely love Christmas movies. So I'm not going to show you my favorite ones because I couldn't really narrow it down, but I'm just going to show you the movies that I tend to watch during the holidays. And I kind of split them up into categories. So let me know if you guys have seen any of these movies, but I'm just going to get into it because there are a chunk of them because I love my warm fuzzy Christmas movies. So my first little category of Christmas movies is those rom-coms that we watch around Christmas. So those lovely, good, warm, fuzzy rom-coms that we watch during the year, and here are 3 of my favorite. I love to watch while you're sleeping during the holidays because it is an adorable movie and it's not specifically a Christmas movie, but a lot of it happens during Christmas and during the holidays. And it's about a Sandra Bullock's character who just is a toll booth or a public transit booth person, and she kind of has this unrequited love to this guy that just kind of comes to her booth all the time, and then she saves his life one day, but he's in a coma. And to get in to see him, she says she's his fiance, and then meets his eccentric, adorable, lovely family and his brother. So it is an adorably funny movie. It is absolutely hilarious. The family, the side characters, are the best part of this movie. Oh my gosh, the side characters, guys, make this movie. So it is absolutely adorable and is one I love to watch during the holidays. Another rom-com I like to watch around the holidays is The Holiday, which features Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, Jack Black, and Kate Winslet. This is about 2 women, one from LA and then one from London, who decide to swap houses over the holidays to get away from all the drama and the crappy stuff that is going on in their lives, and they do so over the time of Christmas. While in England, Cameron Diaz meets Jude Law characters, and while in LA, Kate Winslet meets Jack Black, as well as an adorable old man named Arthur, who is a legendary screenwriter, and I just love their friendship, and I love this part of the movie better because just Arthur is spunky and sassy for a little old man, and then he encourages Kate Winslet to kind of grow a backbone and take back her life, and it was just an adorable friendship, and then Jack Black and her friendship kind of develops out of that. So super adorable movie. Another one of my favorite parts is when Cameron Diaz first kind of arrives at the house that she swapped for. It's tiny, it's nothing compared to her LA home, and so she's kind of walking around listening to music and eating all the chocolates and drinking wine and just not knowing what to do with herself, and it's absolutely hilarious. Another good one to pick up during the holidays is The Holiday. Another one that I like is a lesser known one. In fact, I think this was an off-TV movie originally called A Princess for Christmas, but when it was put onto DVD, it got a title change to Christmas at Castleberry Hall. If you are a Merlin fan, this features Katie McGarth, who plays Morgana from the Merlin series, and it is an adorable movie about Jules Daly, who is the legal guardian of her niece and nephew, and they had lost their parents, her sister, their parents, the Christmas previous, and this is just their struggles of dealing with their first Christmas without her sister and brother. And then they get invited by their estranged grandfather, her brother-in-law's father, to join them in Europe for a Christmas at Castleberry Hall. So you meet a Prince Charming, you have a rich grandfather, you have adorable shenanigans of children, and children kind of showing their grandfather the joy of Christmas again. So all those good Christmassy feels. Keep in mind, this is super cheesy. It is an off-TV movie, but it is one of my favorite movies. Again, the side characters in this movie are my favorite. So if you watch this movie, the staff, like the staff that work for the grandfather, are amazing, and they're adorable characters. I love them all. A Christmas movie list would also not be complete without the Christmas classics. So Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I watch these ones while I'm decorating. I was watching this while I decorated my tree last night. And these are just great to put on in the background because I have them memorized since being a kid, but I still love putting them on in the background and just listening to the music from them and the stories. And my favorite out of this is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I don't know what it is about that one, but as a kid, that was the one I loved the most and enjoyed the most. So Santa Claus is Coming to Town is my favorite out of these. Another Christmas classic is Miracle on 34th Street. I picked the 90s version of this one instead of the classic 1930s. I don't even know when the old one came out, but I liked the 90s version. It is about a young girl who doesn't actually believe in Santa, and then she ends up actually meeting the real Santa, but nobody wants to believe Santa, and then Santa is put on trial somehow. But it's just that magic of Christmas, that belief and that faith kind of in the magic of Christmas, and then you have Santa, and it just has an adorable ending, adorable romance, and I actually end up crying in this one because of all the happiness. So again, another really good classic to watch during the holidays. So another one that I watched came out in 1985, and I watched it a lot as a kid, but I couldn't really find it until recently, and I enjoyed it. I don't know, a lot of people might even know this one, but it is Santa Claus the Movie, which features John Lithgow as an evil toy maker company owner. I loved this movie as a kid. I don't know what it is. I think it was the whimsicalness of it and just the look of the movie overall that I enjoyed. And it's just essentially about Santa Claus and how he came to be and a little bit of a backstory. But then it also features one of his elves, which seemed to could do nothing right and always had accidents with any of his inventions or creations. So he leaves the North Pole and ends up teaming up with this evil toy maker who he thinks has good intentions because he makes toys for kids like Santa. So how evil could he be? So of course, poor Patch, who is the name of the main character and the elf that leaves Santa Claus, poor Patch is caught up in an evil scheme, and a whole lot of shenanigans happen that also feature two children. I think it was John Lithgow's niece, like the toy maker's niece, and a boy that is off the streets. So those kids are involved in that as well. It is a fun all-around adventure and a great classic that I like to watch. Another great classic that I almost have to watch every year, and that is Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin. And I think all of you know what this is about. This is one of my favorite movies. I absolutely loved it. I don't watch the second movie as much, and apparently there's a third and the fourth one. I've seen the third one, but apparently there's a fourth one, and I'm not watching it because nothing beats the first movie and what Kevin did with these guys. It is hilarious. I absolutely love this movie. Another one that's kind of a newer classic for me is Rise of the Guardians, which is a movie about Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Sandman, the Tooth Fairy, and Jack Frost are all featured in this. The time period that this takes place is around Easter time, but of course it features Santa Claus, so you get some Christmassy elements to it, and I loved it. This movie, I wasn't 100% sure if I would like it, and then we played it in my store that I worked, and I had to buy it, and then I ended up loving it. The voice casting for this movie is phenomenal, and I've mentioned this in my top favorite animated movies, so I'm not going to talk too much more about it, but if you haven't seen Rise of the Guardians yet, what are you waiting for? This is amazing, and it's a great movie for any time of the year, so Christmas, Easter, you can watch it anytime. And no Christmas list is complete without The Grinch. Dr. Seuss's The Grinch. I prefer the animated classic. I love the animated classic. I don't mind the Jim Carrey version of this. I just wasn't too much of a fan of the innuendos and the potty jokes that came along with a Jim Carrey movie into a children's classic like The Grinch. So I wasn't a huge fan, but I'll watch it. I don't mind it. I loved the song Where Are You Christmas that Cindy Lou sings, so that is kind of its redeeming factor, is that Where Are You Christmas song. But I will stick to the classic animated Grinch. And of course, no movie list of mine is complete without some Disney movies in here as well. And I don't know how many of you 90s kids remember The Wonderful World of Disney, but every Sunday Disney would put on a special, be it a previous movie that they had that they would play on TV, or just a sequence of shorts featuring a theme, or they would have an actual Wonderful World of Disney movie filmed specifically for that time slot of Wonderful World of Disney. And the one I loved around the holidays was, of course, Annie, which is Disney's take on the musical, which features Kathy Bates as Myth Hannigan, Victor Garber as Daddy Warbucks, and Audra McDonald, who I believe is more so a Broadway star, but she played Grace, Oliver Warbucks' secretary, and I loved her singing voice. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so beautiful. And I loved this version of Annie better because I love the song NYC, which isn't featured in like the 90s classic Annie, as well as the song that Oliver sings to Annie. I forget the title of it, but it's absolutely adorable. I think it's called like No One But You. Oh, it's so good, and it's a great movie, and this one happens around the Christmas and the holidays, so it's a good one to watch for those warm fuzzies. Two other Disney ones I love are the Muppets version of A Christmas Carol and Mickey's Christmas Carol. These are the versions of A Christmas Carol I grew up with. I haven't seen any of the live action with Patrick Stewart or any of the classics. These are the only versions of Christmas Carol I ever grew up with. I loved the Muppets Christmas Carol. It's absolutely freaking hilarious. Of course, I love the Muppets. So this is not only my favorite version of A Christmas Carol, this is my favorite Muppets movie. And this we watched every year, whether my parents wanted to or not. We made them watch this every year. For Mickey's Christmas Carol, I love this version. I adore it. It's adorable. It's not my favorite version, though I did like the Muppets better. But on this particular disc, there's a short called Small One, and it's about a boy. It's set in like a Bethlehem, Israel setting, and it's about a boy who needs to sell his donkey because his family can't afford to take care of him, and he can't handle the workload that his family needs him to. The boy is to sell Small One, but he can't find anyone who will buy Small One, who won't, like the tanner, who won't kill him, and people who won't mistreat him. So he's trying to find a nice home for Small One, and he ends up selling Small One to a gentleman who needs him to help carry his pregnant wife to Bethlehem. So Small One ends up playing a small role in a very big story, and it was absolutely adorable. So I loved Small One, which is featured on this disc with Mickey's Christmas Carol, but this is adorable. I loved this one. Again, this is one I put on in the background when I'm decorating or baking. And of course, another Disney classic is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. This is the only one I watch of this. I do not watch the second or the third one because this is a classic and this is the one I love. It's hilarious. It's a great movie to put on the background. I watch it every year, and it fills you with that, again, the warm fuzzies. These are all warm fuzzy movies. And the last Disney one I want to mention is the animated Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Enchanted Christmas. I cry through this one. I don't know why, but this one makes me so happy, and I love the song As Long As There's Christmas that Belle sings. I love it. It's so good. There's two more that I forgot to mention that I forgot to even put into categories, but the first one is The Nutcracker Prince, which features Kiefer Sutherland as the voice of the Nutcracker. This was done in the 90s. We had it taped off a TV back when you could record stuff off of the VCR, and I have yet to find it on DVD where it's under $50. It is wicked expensive on Amazon.ca. I can't find it anywhere else. It is one of my favorite movies and favorite versions of the Nutcracker ever. It is amazing. Another classic that is required by my family to watch either Christmas Eve or we watch it Christmas Day, and that of course is White Christmas with Bing Crosby. No Christmas is complete in my family's home without watching White Christmas. Love that movie, love that song. It is so good. And if you don't know about White Christmas, just go watch it. You'll love it. If you have seen any of these movies or love any of these movies or any of these are your favorites, let's chat it up in the comments below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and sticking through this longish list of a video, and I will see you next time.